Now on CoastTV News.
The flood threat continues for Delmarva. Scattered showers later today and Wednesday, some with heavy rain and perhaps some more local flooding. I'll track the rain on Futurecast coming up next.
Slammed by storms. With attention on rainy weather here, the havoc caused by flooding north of Delmarva.
Wind permit problems. How the Trump administration has delayed the controversial wind farm planned for our coast.
Fast-track water fix. 1 week early, the emergency dredging project in Ocean City is scheduled to start today.
This is CoastTV News Today.
It is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
I know we had some heavy rain last night.
Yes.
I know that because it woke me up.
It didn't wake me up.
It didn't?
No, Bob was like, did you hear that last night? I'm like, no.
Man,
You know what? I'm happy about that.
Yeah, Bob, my sleep was interrupted, and
oh boy,
maybe
it's going to be a long day for us.
Yeah, you all will feel that.
No, mine wasn't interrupted, and then I said to my wife, did it rain last night? She goes, yeah, and there was thunder too. So I guess I slept pretty well. Good morning, guys. We're looking at a replay of what we had last night. And indeed, through Maryland, southern Delaware, we had a round of really heavy rain and lightning and thunder. But now that system is beginning to move onshore. Still some lingering showers from Lewis near Millsboro and Fenwick Island, and then farther south into Ocean Pines and Golf Club Shores. But this system continues to move offshore, and the rain will be ending with time. In fact, there's some clearing across parts of the eastern shore. You can see that clearing line through D.C. down the I-95 corridor. There's another cluster of showers and storms near Richmond, Virginia, but these are dropping to the south and east. So I think we will dry out for a time this morning, and then there's that stationary boundary to the north, and that once again will be the focus for more storms this afternoon. There is a flood watch until midnight tonight, so the rest of Wednesday from Ocean Pines to Salisbury and parts of the eastern shore, we still have that risk of flash flooding. As temperatures out the door, they're muggy. They're in the low to mid 70s, and dew points still in the low to mid 70s. Still muggy out there with the light breeze. So here's Futurecast showing the last of the rain moving offshore. I think we get a break this morning with a mix of sun and clouds. It's going to be muggy and warm once again by afternoon, upper 80s, and I think we're firing up more storms again, some of those with locally heavy rain as we go into the evening hours. So make sure you're weather aware. Day part forecast, it's into the mid 80s today, and those storms once again this afternoon. Coming up, I'll show you some of the impressive rainfall amounts from last night and let you know when the heavy rain finally starts to back off. That's coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
All right, we look forward to that. Thank you, Bob. Strong storms brought heavy rain, flooding, and damaging winds to the Philadelphia region on Monday. The flooding caused havoc on the roads. Several cars were stalled out while first responders pushed others to higher ground.
In New Jersey, this was the scene in Metuchen. Drivers navigating a flooded street with a first responder vehicle coming from the opposite direction. The governor there, Phil Murphy, declared a state of emergency, warning residents to remain indoors and avoid travel.
Our top story this hour, the offshore wind project for our coast is delayed slightly by the federal government. The Environmental Protection Agency found an error in one of the permits issued to alternative energy company U.S. Wind. In a letter sent to the Maryland Department of Environment, the EPA highlights legal issues. It also states that Maryland gave people conflicting information on how to appeal the permit. While Worcester County officials say this will not bring a swift end to the project, they are happy to get any delay that they can.
With the one big beautiful bill and some of the tax incentives, any delay we can get is going to help in terms of the construction tax credits that are at stake.
U.S. Wind says it's still committed to this project and that it is confident that, quote, all our permits were validly issued.
Happening today, the emergency dredging project that was supposed to start July 21st near Ocean City. The MIRT will begin dredging the bay near West Ocean City and the inlet. They plan to remove 7,500 cubic yards of material. While some people are excited for the project to begin, some boaters we spoke with off camera are skeptical, saying the sand will just fill back in or that the project isn't needed at all. But one boater disagrees, saying the sand has built up so much that even experienced boaters are getting stuck.
My neighbor down here has been a monster on the water for at least 15 years, and he got stuck the other day. First time ever.
And officials say crews will be doing 12-hour shifts during the day.
It was just last week a sailboat got stuck in the exact area they are planning to dredge. They were able to get off the sand safely, but for all the boats coming in early August for the White Marlin Open, this emergency dredging project could help others from getting stuck.
Happening tonight in Milton, regulating short-term rentals, the Planning and Zoning Commission is taking up the request from Town Council to submit a formal report. This is to see if any additional rules are needed. Last month, the town put stricter regulations on short-term rentals. That's anything rented for 30 days or less. Milton also added licensing restrictions and occupancy limitations. The due date for that report is September 8th.
This just in, plans in Ocean View are getting another look at by the Sussex County Council. This is for land off Burbage Road where there's debate over proposed condos. There is a conditional use request that would allow developers to build approximately 50 condo units. According to documents submitted to the county, the developer says during construction activities, care will be taken to preserve as many of the large trees surrounding the property. 2 months ago, the council voted to defer action on the ordinance.
Today in Ocean City, the police department is set to welcome a brand new substation. According to the agency, the ribbon-cutting ceremony is set for the location at the corner of South Baltimore Avenue and Somerset Street. This will take place at 11 a.m. and officials like Mayor Rick Meehan will be in attendance. OCPD says the new building will help improve the downtown area and safety.
New in Georgetown, drivers could soon see changes at a busy intersection. Today, DelDOT will hold a public workshop to review plans for a proposed roundabout at Zoar Road and Peterkins Road. DelDOT says people can stop by anytime between 4 and 6 p.m. at its South District office. This is the area that we're talking about for that roundabout. This comes after several traffic studies, with the latest in 2020 highlighting safety concerns at the intersection.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. 50 days or else. That's the warning President Trump to Russian President Putin to end the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, it is the Capitol building there. Normally that's lit up a little dark this morning. This is after touting his good relationships with Putin. That's President Trump. And he now says he's unhappy with the Russian leader. As
NBC's Alice Barr shows us, now President Trump is promising weapons to Ukraine and threatening more Russian sanctions.
As Russian attacks on Ukraine have only increased, so has President Trump's frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
We want to see it end, and I'm disappointed in President Putin.
Sitting alongside NATO's Secretary General, President Trump announcing plans to rearm Ukraine with billions of dollars worth of weapons, including Patriot air defense systems made in the U.S. and sold to NATO allies in Europe to then hand over to Ukraine.
We're going to make top-of-the-line weapons, and they'll be sent to NATO. We're going to have some come very soon, within days, actually.
The president also setting a 50-day deadline for Russia to agree to a ceasefire or face steep sanctions on trading partners who buy Russian oil and other exports in a move designed to isolate and cripple the Russian economy.
We're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple, and they'll be at 100%.
President Trump also endorsing a bipartisan Russian sanctions bill, though he said it may not be necessary. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanking President Trump for his support. The shifting posture a major change for a president who's long touted his relationship with Putin and promised to end the war his first day in office.
All talk, and then missiles go into Kiev and kill 60 people. It's got to stop.
President Trump now backing words with weapons in a push to change the tide of a grinding war. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News today.
Yeah, coming up, music supports mental health. The event taking place in Lewis that supports resources and education on Delmarva.
And impact fee findings, we give you details of a possible decrease in Georgetown.
But first, we're learning more about that deadly bridge crash last week in Delaware, what police say happened before a tractor truck plunged into the water. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
5:11 on our Tuesday morning. Lots of clouds in Dover, a few breaks here and there on the Bay Health Cam as that heavy rain is now shifting offshore. And you can see all the lightning that we had overnight. Still some showers from Dewey Beach to Selbyville, Fenwick Island as well, down into the Ocean City area. But this is light and should be ending within the hour. We've got some clearing behind this system. Heavier storms across Virginia, but I think those will stay southeast. And I think we have a little clearing. And then that front that's hanging around could give us some more storms later on today. Out the door, low to mid 70s, and the dew point's pretty much matching. So it's very muggy. Well, it's July after all, right? Here's your DriveCast. Wet roads and puddles this morning. Be careful out there. I gave it the yellow light, and then watch this evening for isolated showers and storms, and some of those with heavy rain and maybe some more local flooding as well. So be weather aware. More on the flood threat coming up in just a little bit.
We now know the name of the person who drove off of the Delaware Memorial Bridge on Friday. The Delaware River and Bay Authority says a bobtail tractor-trailer cab crossed 3 lanes on the bridge and smashed through a concrete wall. Recovery operations took days, and officials identified the driver as 35-year-old Zaire Mirzakov of Brooklyn, New York. The cause of this crash is still under investigation.
Happening today, a deadline for students interested in interning with the city of Salisbury. It's the final day for applications. That's today. According to Salisbury officials, there are positions available in several departments, such as government, the zoo, and city council. The city says college students can apply online.
The value of Bitcoin has hit a new record, trading at more than $122,000 on Monday. Bitcoin's value has doubled in the past year, and the cryptocurrency industry has done very well in the Trump era so far. That could continue as the House of Representatives takes up legislation meant to make the USA a safer place for digital currency.
It will soon get a little easier for football teams to get a play call from the sideline to the players on the field. Starting this upcoming football season, Sony is providing NFL head coaches with updated headsets. Company officials say the new headsets can withstand a variety of extreme weather. They are waterproof and have improved noise-canceling abilities. Elisa, I don't think any of this will help our sad Browns with their win total this season.
Matt.
Nah, definitely not. And this is a Jets fan talking, so I shouldn't be talking. Anyway, we're looking at Spice Brothers Cam. Lots of clouds, a few breaks of blue in Salisbury right now. I think we're looking at a clearing trend as the heaviest rain has moved offshore, but there's still a chance of heavier rain later today into Wednesday. I'll have the forecast and track the rain on Futurecast coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:16, and here is a live look at a gray early morning in Ocean City. Lots of clouds there. Bob, some heavy rain overnight. I just saw you a moment ago busy at work tracking those rain totals.
Plugging them in for sure. And they had a good soaking down there in Ocean City, Matt, for sure. As we had the rain and storms moving through overnight, Laurel tops the list at 1.27 inches of rain with the storms last night. Georgetown 1.15. There's Ocean City at 1.12. Bethany Beach a little bit below an inch for you, 9,300, 7,200s in Dagsboro. And Rehoboth about 1/3 of an inch of rain. So another good soaking overnight. And we still have a chance of flooding as we go through time. We're under a slight risk of excessive rain as we go through, I'd say, later today and tonight. So we have to be careful of that. It looks like they've taken us out of the risk of excessive rain as we go into tomorrow, but I think there's still a chance of heavier rain later Wednesday and Wednesday night. And then Thursday, it looks like it just turns hot and drier. Flood watch still for parts of the eastern shore to Salisbury and back towards Ocean Pines and the coast as well. This continues through this afternoon into tonight, and then it expires at midnight. As we're seeing a radar replay of all that heavy rain that moved through the region last night and lightning with that as well. But now that's shifting offshore, still some lingering showers, Dewey Beach, Ocean View, Fenwick Island, and then farther south into Ocean City and Ocean Pines. But this is sliding offshore, should be offshore within the hour. Otherwise, we are starting to see clearing building in from the northwest. So I think we will see some blue skies as we go through the morning hours. Another cluster of storms through Virginia, but this is drifting to the southeast, so I think we do dry it out. You can see the clearing back through D.C. into the Ohio Valley, and there's that pesky stationary front, and that's close enough to once again fire off some more storms as it gets closer into this afternoon and this evening. Temperatures out the door around 72 to 74 in Lewis, Bethany Beach 73, Millsboro 73, and the dew points nearly matching. So that's telling us it's very muggy. Of course, we had all that rain overnight. It feels like temperatures pretty much like the actual temperatures right now as we have a light southwesterly wind. So Futurecast has the rain moving offshore, maybe a lingering shower or two very early. Then I think we'll start to clear things out mid-morning. By noon or thereabouts, we're in the mid-80s, 70s and 80s at the beaches, maybe a stray shower by mid-afternoon, upper 80s, so it's going to be warm and humid. And here comes that chance of a shower or thunderstorm into the afternoon. Once again, maybe dumping a lot of rain in a short period of time. I think we do quiet it down through the overnight, so not as stormy tonight as last night. As we go into Wednesday morning, we're into the mid-70s, mid-80s by mid-morning, and then by the afternoon, some low 90s showing up, and I still think we have that chance of seeing showers and storms and heavy rain, and maybe one last burst of heavy rain as we go into Wednesday night. Maybe some local flooding there into very early Thursday as we have that stationary boundary right over the top of us. Once again, the focus for the heavy rain, I think, as we go through the next couple of days. Not looking at a severe threat today, but still, once again, that heavy rain is definitely a possibility. And as we go through the next couple of days, once again, we could see at least 2 inches of rain, and the muggy meter was still very humid to miserable as we go through the next several days. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, upper 80s Tuesday and Wednesday. I think the rain does start to taper off by the end of the week and getting hot. 93 Thursday, 91 with some storms Friday, and the weekend dry Saturday, storm Sunday, upper 80s, and looks like more storms into early next week. Congratulations to Roy Thompson from Milford, winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. In Georgetown, the council is in the early stages of deciding on a decrease for sewer and water impact fees for developers. The current rate sits at $7,400 per sewer and $1,099 for water. Georgetown's town manager believes that this decrease in fees will greatly benefit the town.
What it affords the town the ability to do is, if we need improvements, like we have a sewer line that's going to run through one property and it's being developed, we can ask that developer to put in additional improvements, a deeper sewer depth or additional sized water lines. And as a trade-off, the town's willing to forego part of the impact fees.
And this decrease will be granted only if the structure being built benefits the area.
Check out this timeline and some data here from July 9th to the 12th. Maryland State Police say they arrested 9 people for suspected drunk driving. State Police also responded to 10 DUI-related crashes. 4 of those involved more than one car. Troopers are reminding everyone to drive safely, never drive drunk, use a ride service, taxi, bus, or a sober driver, as there are no excuses for drunk driving.
Up next on Coast TV News today, a lack of lifeguards, how Delmarva government officials are getting involved in the ongoing issue on Assateague Island. Don't go anywhere. Getting lifeguards back at Assateague Island National Seashore is a top priority for 2 Maryland lawmakers. The lack of staffing has been blamed on federal cuts at the National Park Service.
Maryland Senators Chris Van Hollen and Angela Alsobrooks are urging the filling of vacant positions. A letter to the Department of Interior and National Park Service read in part, quote, "These ad hoc measures are unacceptable, and there's no substitute for attentive lifeguards specifically assigned to monitor water safety at Assateague. MPS's current limited safety measures burden neighboring beach safety and emergency response efforts, stretching services too thin."
And on the Virginia side, the town of Chincoteague is asking Accomack County to enter a cost-share agreement with the National Park Service. It would allow them to contact lifeguard services. A Worcester County official says they are looking at a similar model.
We initially tried to piggyback on the contract that Virginia used, but I don't think they have everything they need to operate in Maryland. So we're going to look at other opportunities.
And Young says they may discuss the issue during tomorrow's Worcester County Commissioners meeting.
A night of music, food, and purpose is coming to Lewis this week. Rockin' the Docks will host a special benefit concert. It's Thursday, July 17th, and it supports SL24 Unlock the Light Foundation. This helps bring mental health education and resources to students and young adults. Organizers say there's also a local vendor market and plenty to eat, from wood-fired pizza and pasta to empanadas, pretzels, ice cream, and more. And for more information on how to buy tickets and when to arrive, you can head on over to CoastTV.com.
Happening today in Ocean City, volunteers will take to the beach for cleanup efforts. The town says you can take part from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Volunteers will meet at 4th Street to pick up materials and then come back together for a trash weigh-in once all of that work is done at 9:30. And speaking of the beach, thank you for going to the beach today. Prepare to maybe get rained out, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not thinking there's going to be tasty waves for riding. The waves might be good for riding. I don't think there'll be a lot of people doing that, Bob.
Yeah, 1 to 2 foot waves. I don't know if that's optimal for boogie boarding, but well, maybe give it a shot. Do watch for some showers and storms along the coast, Ocean City and Fenwick Island. I think especially later today with temperatures in the low 80s. Rip current threat is low. UV index is very high. And Lewis, some showers and storms, I think later this afternoon, and the same for Rehoboth too, with temperatures into the lower 80s. On the Bayside, you're in the mid 80s today. In Cambridge, you too have a chance for storms, as does Crisfield throughout the day, maybe a little cooler for you. We still have that flood threat for another day or two, and then really hot and humid by the end of the week. More on your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
And after the break on Coast TV News today, Russia risks new war consequences. We'll tell you what President Trump says he is threatening if the violence doesn't come to an end.
Also, possible offshore wind problems, why the federal government is delaying the alternative energy plans off of our coast.
And boating improvements begin. How many yards of sand crews aim to remove in Ocean City?
Now on Coast TV News.
The flood threat continues for Delmarva. Scattered showers later today and Wednesday, some with heavy rain and perhaps some more local flooding. I'll track the rain on Futurecast coming up next.
Flash flood emergency. While it is a concern here on Delmarva, other parts of the East Coast are seeing a more intense situation.
Against the wind, after the alternative energy project appeared to have some wins this month, the action by the Trump administration that has caused a delay.
Council eyes condos. A project in Ocean View comes back for consideration 4 months after its public hearing.
This is Coast TV News Today.
And it is July 15th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
And we're about to hit 5:31, and we are dealing with a wet start to our Tuesday morning.
And despite the rain, I still saw my good friends, the deer outside.
You mentioned that. Your buddies.
Don't you guys want to take cover? And please don't add to the stress of driving when it's dark and rainy outside. But they were out there. They were.
They probably wanted to say hello.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Well, Bob usually sees deer on his commute as well. Did you see any this morning, Bob?
I did not see any deer, maybe because it was raining. I don't know. Maybe they were taking cover. You know, maybe they were watching Coast TV News and yeah, well, probably not. But anyway, we're looking at the radar replay from last night, from the last several hours. You can see the heavy rain that was moving through Delaware and Maryland and all the lightning too. But now that is starting to move offshore. Still some lingering showers around Ocean View, Frankfurt, back through Fenwick Island out towards Ocean City. And that could be hanging on for another half hour or so. And then that moves out to sea. We are getting a little break. Annapolis, back to D.C. and then west. We're seeing some clearing there. A cluster of storms through central Virginia. Those are dropping to the southeast. So I think we will see a break in the storms and some sunshine as we go through the day. But still, we're looking at a flood watch for parts of the eastern shore of Maryland, including Salisbury to the coast for the rest of today. Temperatures are in the low 70s. It's still very muggy out there as well. And we've got light winds too. And we'll be seeing those showers moving offshore this morning. Otherwise, here's Futurecast with breaks in the clouds mid-morning. And I think by noon, maybe a few more showers getting going. And it's getting warm and humid with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s with a few more showers. I think heavier storms perhaps with very heavy rain as we go into the evening hours. We still have to watch for that flood potential. And if you're riding the ferry, make sure you have the umbrella. We do dry it out for a few hours, but it looks like the showers return by noon into early afternoon. And maybe once again that flood threat for the next couple of days. More on that coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this half hour as flood recovery continues in central Texas. People in several other states are grappling with new rounds of severe weather.
Yeah, Amy Kiley's going to show us how some face extreme heat and wildfires. Others are recovering from flash floods and slow-moving thunderstorms today.
Tens of millions of Americans are coping with severe weather or its aftermath today. Whoa. The Northeast is recovering from overnight floods. New Jersey is under a state of emergency declaration. New York is dealing with subway station flood damage that also affected some train cars. This man seems okay after a rescue in the suburbs, while these drivers chose to turn around in the Bronx. The FAA warns of air travel impacts in New York, Washington, and Boston. In southern Pennsylvania, officials report a number of water rescues. They say Lancaster County got 7 inches of rain in less than 5 hours yesterday. Meteorologists say Maryland and D.C. were in the core threat area overnight. Meanwhile, near the Grand Canyon,
it's just really devastating.
A historic lodge is in ashes due to a rapidly spreading wildfire.
It's taking a big chunk of the park and taking it offline for at least a couple of years.
In Utah, the Monroe fire is burning.
That's a big concern, protecting the structures as we can and keeping the public safe.
And in Central Texas, recovery efforts continue after floods killed more than 100 people.
We have seen the best of humanity. We truly see God's hand at work.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Happening today in Ocean City, the start of the emergency dredging project. This was originally slated to begin July 21st. The Merritt equipment will dredge the bay near West Ocean City and the inlet. They plan to remove about 7,500 cubic yards of material. Some boaters we spoke with off camera say they're skeptical about any improvements from the dredging. They say the sand will just fill back in. The work is planned for 12-hour shifts during the day.
An update on the offshore wind project off of Maryland's coast. It's been delayed slightly by the federal government. The Environmental Protection Agency found an error in one of the permits issued to alternative energy company U.S. Wind. In a letter sent to the Maryland Department of the Environment, the EPA highlights legal issues. It also states that MDE gave people conflicting information on how to deal with the permit. Worcester County officials say they are happy to get any delay they can. U.S. Wind says it's still committed to its proposed project.
On your screen right now is land in Ocean View off Burbage Road, where plans are still debated over proposed condos. And new this morning, these plans are getting another look by the Sussex County Council. There's a conditional use request that would allow them to build approximately 50 condo units. According to documents submitted to the county, the developer says during construction activities, care will be taken to preserve as many of the large trees surrounding the property. 2 months ago, the council voted to defer action on the ordinance.
Happening tonight in Milton, regulating short-term rentals, the Planning and Zoning Commission is taking up the request from Town Council to submit a formal report. This is to see if any additional rules are needed. Last month, the town put stricter regulations on short-term rentals. That is anything rented for 30 days or less. Milton also added licensing restrictions and occupancy limitations. The due date for that report is September 8th.
Today in Ocean City, the police department there is set to welcome a brand new substation. According to the department, the ribbon cutting ceremony is set for the location at the corner of South Baltimore Avenue and Somerset Street. This is taking place at 11 a.m. Officials like Mayor Rick Meehan are scheduled for attendance. OCPD says the new building will help improve the downtown area and safety.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. 50 days or else. That's the warning from President Trump to Russian President Putin to end the war in Ukraine. And after touting his good relationship with Putin, President Trump now says he's unhappy with the Russian leader, saying he's been all talk and no results. President Trump is promising weapons to Ukraine and threatening more Russian sanctions. This as Russian attacks on Ukraine have only increased. The moves are meant to be moved in designated isolate and cripple the Russian economy.
We're going to make top-of-the-line weapons, and they'll be sent to NATO. We're going to have some come very soon, within days, actually.
And the shifting posture, a major change for a president who's long touted his relationship with Putin and promised to end the war his first day in office.
Got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, new law opens for parking opportunities. We'll tell you how people say communities could use more spots.
Also, Dawsonville likes Dover. We hear from Chase Elliott, who is one of the best when it comes to Monster Mile success.
And helping the homeless in the heat, we'll tell you how one group is making sure everyone has access to stay healthy and clean on the coast. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
5:40 on our Tuesday morning. We're drying it out in Salisbury after last night's rain with lots of clouds. I think we'll see some breaks. We're seeing some clearing across the eastern shore as we're watching this rain moving offshore. Still some showers around Ocean View down to Ocean Pines, but that is winding down, as you can see, as we're seeing the clearing to our west. Still some storms across Virginia, but I think we will see some clearing. But with that stationary boundary to our north and west, still that chance of showers and storms this afternoon. Out the door, temperatures into the low 70s. Here is today's checklist. Need the umbrella for later, too. It's still this morning as well in some places. Drive with caution. Roads are wet. We see some big puddles, and be weather aware for the potential of flash flooding later again today. Have water handy. It's getting warm out there. Make sure you have the sunscreen and sunglasses as well. And call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. I just updated it. It's sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
Dozens of people in need gathered in Georgetown on Monday, hoping for a clean start to their day amid the summer heat. The United Church of Delaware brought its mobile shower trailer to the Shepherd's office, giving thousands experiencing homelessness a chance to clean up and feel refreshed. Along with showers, guests got essential items like clothing, hygiene kits, and even haircuts. Organizers say these small acts provide more than just physical relief.
It really can bring people's hope back if they can take a shower and just get a fresher start, to their day.
And the United Church of Delaware says the shower trailer is stationed weekly in Lewis. It says it plans to expand services in Georgetown and around the whole state in the near future.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Yes, a new champion and a family affair in last night's home run derby. All eyes were on the Big Dumper and Co. in Atlanta. Maryland slugger Cal Raleigh won it with his father Todd pitching and brother Todd Jr. catching. The switch hitting catcher did it from both sides of the plate. He outlasted Pirates outfielder O'Neal Cruz in the semis and then top Rays third baseman Junior Caminero in the final. Raleigh adds $1 million prize to his breakout season. The Mariners slugger currently leads the league with 38 homers. Nationals slugger James Wood finished with 16 jacks in his Derby debut. From the Derby to Durham, Colonel Richardson star Jordan Rogulski has flipped his commitment to Duke. The Colonel's ace was committed to Wake Forest, but now has reset his sights on the Blue Devils. Rogulski is considered by some as Maryland's best pitching prospect in the class of 2025. And those of you who want to get an up-close look at the latest softball stars on Delmarva and beyond, make sure you tune into USSSA Eastern Nationals on DSN. The tournament begins tomorrow and run through Sunday, the first of 3 weeks of championships on the network. We'll also be streaming the tournament on DSN+. Our coverage begins from Henry S. Parker in Salisbury at 12:15 tomorrow afternoon. That over sports. Have a great day, everybody.
And coming up on DSN, you just heard we talk about it at 4:30, that USSSA softball, and then at 10:30 you can catch the final score. And we are heading into NASCAR weekend at Dover, and one of the drivers to watch for in Sunday's 400-mile race is a two-time winner at the Monster Mile, Chase Elliott. The driver of the 9 car has an average finish at this track of 9.75. That is 5th best all time. And this season, Elliott has momentum with 4 top 5 finishes in his last 5 races, including a win at Atlanta last month. He knows winning at the Monster, though the reason is not exactly clear.
Early in my career, Dover was a place that I just got along with, and I don't exactly know why. I do think it's become a little more challenging in this generation car, but yeah, it's been a really good track to us, in terms of performance, and yeah, we'd love to keep that rolling.
Elliott has 2 poles at Dover, though neither of those resulted in his 2 wins at the Monster Mile.
Good times never seemed so good for one theater audience in Los Angeles recently, and David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
A surprise appearance by Neil Diamond. The legendary singer-songwriter showed up at a Hollywood performance of A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, and led the audience in a rendition of his 1969 hit, Sweet Caroline. Diamond announced his retirement 7 years ago, revealing he'd been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Andrew Garfield is re-teaming with Luca Guadagnino. The actor has joined the cast of Guadagnino's Artificial, described as a comedic drama set in the world of artificial intelligence. Garfield recently worked with the filmmaker on After the Hunt, which is due in theaters October 10th.
The total for Summer Games Done Quick 2025 is $2,436,614.
That's how much the latest Games Done Quick video game speedrunning marathon raised for Doctors Without Borders. This year's event was held in Minneapolis. All of the runs are archived on the Games Done Quick YouTube channel. Leveling Up in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Starting to see some blue skies in Dover. The clouds are beginning to move out, as is the rain for now, but the heavy rain and storms I think will move back in as we go into this evening and the next couple of days too, as there's still a chance of flooding the next couple of days, so be weather aware. I'll track the rain on Futurecast and talk about the flood threat in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 5:48 and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. And Bob, we've been dealing with some rain this morning. Looks like it's clear right now in Salisbury, but we see that road looking a little wet right there, a little slick, so be careful.
Absolutely, yeah, that's very good advice, Elisa. Wet roads, so looking at large puddles from last night's rain. Some places picked up over an inch of rain, and we still have that chance, that potential for flooding. Now, here's the excessive rainfall outlook. We're still in a slight chance. That means we have a 20 to 30% chance of seeing flash flooding later today and tonight, so keep that in mind. And then as we go into tomorrow, it looks like it does improve. It does lower, but I am concerned about another round of showers and storms Wednesday night, and then Thursday I think we do dry it out, and then it just gets really hot and humid. Still a flood watch into Maryland, Salisbury, back through the coast, and then parts of the eastern shore through today into tonight for that potential of flash flooding. As you can see, the rain that moved through last night, and we had the lightning too, and that continues to move offshore. Still a little lingering shower around Fenwick Island, nothing all that heavy towards Ocean City, but that should be moving offshore here momentarily the next half hour, and then we're seeing clearing across the eastern shore into Annapolis, and the I-95 corridor starting to see some clearing. So I think we will see some blue skies. Still some storms over central Virginia, but these are moving to the south and east. So I think we will see that window of clearing later this morning. But then we have the stationary front to our north and west. And once again, later today, that will be the focus for some of those showers and storms that could produce some flooding once again. Eventually, this will dissolve as we go into tomorrow, and that threat for flooding will decrease. Out the door this morning, we're in the low to mid 70s and nearly matching dew point as well, meaning it's very, very muggy out there. Feels like temperatures pretty much in the low 70s with light winds. So Futurecast showing one area of rain moving offshore this morning. I think we will see some clearing as we go through the morning. By noon with the heating, we could start to fire up some of those storms again, maybe along the coast. Temperatures into the low to mid 80s. By 3 p.m., upper 80s from Salisbury to Millsboro and Georgetown. And then as we go deeper into the afternoon and evening, I'm a little more concerned about some of these isolated storms that pack a punch with very heavy rain and maybe local flooding, and that could be the case maybe around Rehoboth around 5:30. Then I think overnight things calm down. We'll see partly cloudy skies, very mild and muggy, but we could see some fog developing as we go into Wednesday morning. Otherwise, we go into Wednesday afternoon. There's that chance again of showers and storms with heavy rain, and it gets hotter. Temperatures in the low 90s, and then be one last push of very heavy rain possible into Wednesday night. We'll be watching this. So if you're traveling Wednesday night, could be seeing some flash flooding even into very early Thursday. And once again, we have that stationary boundary nearby, and once again, that is the focus for training storms, and once again, that chance of flash flooding. Not expecting severe weather, but once again, heavy rain is the threat. And as we go through time, you can see these purple colors indicating maybe over 2 inches of rain in some places, while other places don't see as much rain. It really depends on where those storms line up. And then it gets hot by the end of the week. By Thursday, Wednesday, look at this. Feels like temperatures in the lower triple digits, pretty hot at the beaches too. Actual temperatures in the lower 90s. And then Friday is going to be another cooker, feeling as hot as maybe 104 inland areas. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 87 today with those late day storms. Still a storm chance Wednesday, 89, and then it just gets hot and drier. End of the week, 93 Thursday, a few storms Friday, 91. The weekend not bad, dry Saturday, some storms Sunday, upper 80s, and maybe a little stormy heading into early next week.
Thank you, Bob. In Berlin, a new public parking lot is open. This is on the corner of West Street and Washington Street. It's a grass lot that was transformed into open parking spaces for the downtown area. Some local business workers that we spoke to say they noticed customers struggling for parking before the opening of this new lot.
First little problem that I get to watch people circle the post office parking lot and not find a place to park. And then I wonder, as they leave the parking lot, did they leave town because they couldn't find a spot?
Lot is currently free, but council members say that a fee is expected in the future to park there.
New in Salisbury, the city is getting ready to celebrate creativity this week with its monthly Third Friday event. The theme is I Spy Art, and from 5 to 8 p.m., the Downtown Plaza and Unity Square will come alive with live music, vendors, and family-friendly activities. Keep in mind, parts of Main Street and Division Street will be closed starting at 2 p.m. And the time is now 5:53, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Today's coastal pet of the day loves his summertime treats. On your screen, that's Teddy, everybody. As you can see, he adores his summertime pup cups. Teddy was submitted to us by Trisha in Harbison.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
There's that QR code top center. Scan that, get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 5:56, and we are going to take another look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Yeah, Bob, we are attempting to dry out after that overnight rain.
Yeah, and I think we are doing that this morning. In fact, I think we'll see some blue skies as we go through the morning hours. Here's your day part forecast. Kind of cloudy, lingering showers along the coast. I think we do get a break later this morning into early afternoon. It's mild and muggy, mid to upper 80s. Then some more storms firing later in the day. That could cause some flooding, especially in localized flooding in poor drainage areas. Watch for that. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. 89 Wednesday, still some storms there, then hot by the end of the week. 93 Thursday, and then a few more storms Friday. 91 to feeling like triple digits. It does cool down a little bit into the weekend. Upper 80s. Dry Saturday, more storms Sunday. That's the case into early next week with average temperatures and maybe more storms by Thursday. So it looks like pretty typical summer pattern the next several days.
Yeah, it does. All right, thank you, Bob. Coming up in our next hour, delay on Delmarva wind farm, how the Trump administration is pushing back on the alternative energy project planned for our area. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.